All right, gang. Give me a second. All right, mic check 1 2 1 2. Can you guys hear me? Hear voice, see screen. Perfect. Welcome back to the live room. It's been a while. Well, not for some of you guys. We saw many of you guys yesterday, but been a while for you guys that only check out the live room because we missed Thursday. So as you can see, voice is sounding a little bit better. Although in about an hour after I talk for an hour straight, I'm sure it will be a different story, but much better than it was last week. If you guys are brand new, my name is Akil Stokes. I am a trading coach. Welcome to the live room. I'm also streaming this, the first pair we look at least, out there on social media. I think it's on Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and some places. So we'll experimenting with something that we're doing here where we show you guys the top trade of the ID. I'm not really paying attention to the chat if you're over on Facebook and all that fun stuff, but I will go through and check any comments and questions. Same thing with TradingView later, but a little bit of experimentation. One thing on house cleaning, I am working on a chance to because I've been feeling under the weather. But for you guys that are watching on YouTube, working on getting a better quality stream. It says 1080, but it doesn't look 1080, so I'm working on getting that. So welcome back to the live room. We're going to start off today with my trade of the day, right? It's going to be on the Aussie Canada. And what's cool about this is I think it follows directly up on the conversation that we had yesterday, right? So we had a pretty cool Q&A yesterday. Pretty cool Q&A. And one of the things that we talked about, I guess the main subject of yesterday's Q&A, if you haven't seen it, was really separating analysis from the technique, right? The good example was double tops and double bottoms, where it's like, hey, when we initially think of double tops and double bottoms, we think of counter trend type of situations, right? And we talked a lot about separating those where, hey, a double top and a double bottom isn't necessarily a counter trend trade. It is something that can be used for a reversal, but a reversal can be used in a counter trend situation. A reversal can also be used in a trend continuation situation. So it's important that we separate our analysis of what's happening in the market versus the technique that we want to use, because the market works in fractals and they're like snowflakes. And as long as you go down, there are little things within bigger things, and it goes on forever. And it makes your mind get all weird, right? If you want to make your mind even weirder, go research Fibonacci. That's crazy. But we went on to talk about, in general, how trading is a blend, right? It's not necessarily a art or a science. We've had that conversation many times. It's not necessarily 100% technical, 100% fundamental. It is a blend. And I think as a newer trader, the earlier that you can accept that, it doesn't mean you have to like it, but the earlier that you can accept it and understand what the market is, the less barriers you're going to have to break down later. Because a lot of the trading journey, in my experience, and I've been doing this for 15 years now? More than that. 15? 2007 I started. A lot of it is coming in with certain opinions, being stubborn with those opinions, getting stuck because you're a square peg, trying to get through a round hole because of those opinions. And then eventually, over time and experience, needing to kind of shift those opinions. And today is going to be an example of one of those situations of where things blend together, right? This is going to be one of those hybrid trades, right? I am a technical trader. So first and foremost, everything I do on the chart is based off the technicals. However, I do come from an investing background. And when I was a stock investor, it was a little bit different. Technical, I didn't even know technicals at the time, aside from looking at a line chart. But fundamentals were my main driver. So that whole IPDE process we go through, identify, predict, decide, execute, the identify and the predict was based on the fundamental side of things, reading a balance sheet, news, whatever, rumors, and then decide and execute. Well, back then it was kind of I just feel good about a price and buy it. But now it would be the technicals. And there are times where you can combine that. And Jason and myself call that hybrid trading. And in my personal experience, I only get about, I call them home run opportunities or these blended opportunities. I probably get about a handful of a year. I tend to get them more on the Canadian pairs than other pairs, just because Canada tends to be kind of less, they tend to be more direct with their statements when it comes to news. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, if you even pay attention to news. Canada is more direct. You get, the UK, America, we tend to kind of dance around and we say this and we say that, and it means this, it means that. I mean, like Powell's been saying one thing for like the last 2 years, and then all of a sudden changes his mind and goes exactly the other way. So it's this weird kind of dance, but it's a PR thing. Canada's more direct, and this is what's going to set up our opportunity for today. So before we get to the charts, I want to start off by looking at the economic calendar. And it's not going to be about what's coming out today, although we should be aware of what's coming out today. Nothing. But tomorrow, right, we're looking at Canada. Is there anything that you see on the rundown that stands out to you? Hey, Hussein. And Chris, yeah, you see, I'm losing it already. Only 5 minutes in. 5 minutes in, I'm losing it already. And sorry about that, the backup recording. Anything that stands out to you on the fundamental side of things? Or she says, Bank of Canada rate statement. Yeah, Bank of Canada rate statement. Now, you can see it's highlighted in red. If you guys are new, red news is supposed to be your high impact news events. Orange news is supposed to be your, medium, could go either way. Yellow news is your wishy-washy stuff. Now, all red news doesn't mean a massive move in the market. It is based off of historically what is important. So like in many cases, like interest rate decisions, right, are not actually going to be important because the majority of the time there is no change. So people get all excited and hype over it and then nothing happens. However, this one, I think, is going to be important because Bank of Canada is in an interesting situation, right? Bank of Canada is in a place where they've basically said that their economy is back on track. They're expecting a full recovery and that an interest rate hike cycle is going to begin soon, right? That is a good thing. Will depend on you personally, but however, there is also that I'm gonna get it right today. The Omarion variant. Did I get it right? The Omarion? No, that's the singer. Gosh, Omicron. There we go. One of these days I'm gonna get it right. There is that Omicron variant. That Omicron variant that is causing widespread fear. So it's kind of this battle where it's like all signs are pointing towards a rate hike. And they've had a hawkish tone, which is an aggressive tone. However, there is this mystery sitting back where it's like, hey, this new variant has come. How is this going to affect the decision? Is this going to put a halt in it? Are they going to be more cautious? Or are they going to stick to their aggressive nature? So it's one of those news events where there's not a full-blown kind of agreement in what's happened. And that is a good thing because when markets move off of news, it's about the deviation of the expectation. It's not about the actual event. It's about the deviation of the expectation, right? If everyone thinks something is going to go one way, it has already gone that one way before that thing actually happens. If you look at Canada, Canada's been very strong. So the question that we're asking ourselves now is, are we going to see a continuation in that strength? And I think there's enough kind of, something the word here, enough kind of mystery that it would allow for another positive news if Canada continues its current mood, its current hawkish tone. So I think there is that opportunity for, as far as talking quote unquote run trades, to see that continued Canadian strength in the market. So that's on the fundamental side of things. And I'll get to your question, Hussein, and then we'll hit the charts and talk about the technical side, which is what matters most for me. Chris, real quick, says media and politicians are spreading fear, and South African doctors is saying it's a mild variant. Well, that's their job, Chris. Their job is to spread fear. How else are they going to control us? Two easiest ways to control human beings are fear and greed. How else are they going to push the markets to do what they want? Got to scare us, man. Hussein says, Akil, do you use fundamentals to stay out of the market, or do you have rules around them when you take a trade or not during big news events? So aside from like a home run trading opportunity, which is really rare, that's tough to say. I don't play fundamentals any other way. With major events that I think will move the market, I just stay out. So I'll have a rule where it's like most of them don't occur when I'm trading, but it'll be 15 minutes before, 15 minutes after. So for example, most of what we get during our active trading time here is going to be like an ECB press conference, right? So it's going to be one of those deals where it's like, hey, 15 minutes before, I'm not touching the market. This was more from a day trader. I'm not day trading anymore, but when I was a day trader, 15 minutes before and then 15 minutes after the dust settles for those new events. But again, it's not a situation where every red news event isn't a major news event for me. I've got the experience at this point where I can pretty accurately guess which news events are going to have an impact and which aren't. And some may be red, some may be orange, but it's very rare. It's basically like a monetary policy statement, some type of press conference. Those are the major ones. Every once in a while, it'll be like a non-farms, obviously, is one. Every once in a while, it'll be like a GDP number if that's important at the time. But yeah, I'll just stay away. I have no interest in playing that game. And I would say it's not going to affect you as much on the higher time frames because there's less noise. That noise will be shaken out of the market. If you're a day trader, that's where you got to worry because that's where you can get whipsawed to death. And I've been there, baby. Whew, not fun. Not fun. But so let's go. We got the fundamental side. I have a bullish Canadian dollar fundamental perspective. Again, just my these are all just educated guesses, but my experience with Canada is they tend to come out and be very honest. Once they have an opinion, they tend to stick with that opinion. I don't think they're going to back off at all. I think they're going to continue and come out and with a hawkish tone and be like, "Hey, this is what the numbers say." They tend to stick to the numbers, Canada. Unlike the US, they tend to stick to the numbers and say, hey, this is what the numbers say. This is what we think. We're going to go ahead with it. And I think that will cause continued strength in the Canadian dollar. So let's look at the charts here. Let's go to that IPDE process. So if we take the fundamentals, put it to the side in our pocket, let's look at fundamentals or technicals. There we go. Identify what has price action recently done. I need you guys to help me out with this as well. Hey, Rain said, I see a trend with this pair. Ooh, look at that. You already broke down. Why am I here? Just throw this man a mic. Why am I here? You already did it for me. Sheesh. You guys, if you're watching on social, you can't see it over here in the chat. One of our traders just basically wrote out his whole identify, predict, decide, execute. He says, identify where price is at. Price violated previous structure to the downside. Predict price will continue lower. How will it get there? It could continue straight down or a pullback. I'm gonna have something fun for you. We got a lower time frame. If we retest, look for reason to enter. Target 1, previous structure low, even handle number, 90 cent. Target 2, previous inside structure shelf, 89 cents. Should I just leave? Well done. That's very good. Very, 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 very good. Well done. Yeah. So work was done already for me, but we'll continue along anyway. Yeah. So the most recent move is a lower low, lower close, right? You can see that price action came down, consolidated for a little bit, broke and closed to the low side, right? Now, a target guess on the next level of structure we're likely to come to. This is a little bit difficult. I don't think we're going to go all the way down to 83s, although we could, but we can worry about that a little bit later. In fact, I didn't do this, but I do want to put this on I didn't do this earlier. I do want to see where this lines up, where an equal measure move would line up with my reference point. So we just took a 1-to-1 measure move. This is going to be called an equal measure move or an AB equals CD pattern. From this most recent swing high to swing low, that's going to put me right down here. This is going to be a little bit lower than my projections, but hey, if you're going for a home run, this could be a big boy projection. What else can I add with this? Think about your CTS checklist. Yep, Fibonacci extension. There you go, Chris. Look at that. Man, Chris, a week ago, you were new and you were young and you were afraid to ask any questions or make any comments. You grew up so quick. They grow up so quick. Good job, man. Good job. So Fibonacci extension, swing high to swing low, that A to that B, and back up. Chris says, I'm still new, just trying to learn. Well, the key is this, and let me know if I'm wrong, Chris, right? And I don't, you know, this would be bad if I were an internet marketer just looking to sell a secret course, right? Do I do anything new every day, any day? Or is it the same damn process? Yeah, exactly. It's the same process. It's funny. I get comments every once in a while where it's like, Akil, I was in your live room and man, you just do the same thing every day. You analyze the markets the same way. You look at the same principles. Like it gets boring. I'm like, yeah, pretty much. That's a good thing. You ask any professional trader out there, good trading is boring trading. If you're excited, man, that means you're treating the market like a casino where you're going on these emotional highs and lows of ooh, right? That's not good for business. Good business is boring, right? Talk to any good business owner. What would they like? A steady flow of customers into their store buying stuff. They'd much rather have that than like a Black Friday rush once every blue moon. If I'm very accurate and I can predict how many customers come into my store and what they're likely to buy and all that fun stuff, man, I'm a happy business owner. Same thing like anyone that's ever worked in on commissions versus salary, right? Salary is boring, right? You know what you get every 2 weeks. Commissions is exciting, but is that necessarily a good excitement? Not all the time. Right. So yeah, we can add a Fibonacci extension to that. We have a 1618 a little bit above that level. So again, we can always adjust for zones. So we'll keep this on our radar for a little bit later. Now let's go down to the daily. Right. And we're starting to see a few things here. One, right? So 2 days ago, high momentum bearish candle for the breakout, right? Strong breakout. It's a good sign for a breakout, right? The 2 candles after that, yesterday and today, currently, right? Now, this is interesting, right? I can't do the voice or see, but inside bar, right? This is a green candle. However, do we look at that as a bullish candle? No, right? That doesn't give us much conviction and strength. Why? Because what does that candle tell us? Why it's important to be able to read this stuff, right? Just like this is a bullish candle up here. That's not a positive candle, right? Shows us that the buyers pushed up. They got rejected, finished in, looks like the lower third. So far today, we're getting something very similar as well, right? So although these may look like bullish candles and people getting excited, these are actually not bullish candles. I mean, technically they're green and they close higher than the open. But as far as we're concerned about reading it, these aren't bullish candles. We also know that there's an inside bar, a little bit of consolidation. Let's go one more time frame down to a 4-hour. Let me know if anything stands out to you. What is that? What type of consolidation? Now we can specify the type of consolidation that it is. What type of consolidation is this? Flag pattern. What type of flag pattern? Oop, I just dropped something very important. Hold on. I just dropped a check. Oof, can't lose that. Bearish flag, right? This is all running together with our idea, right? So a bearish flag pattern, which what we would expect from this pattern is not at any significant level of structure, right? We talked about that yesterday with filters. I think it was, that might have been, no, yeah, another Chris asked that question yesterday, not at any level of significant structure. So we would expect a bearish breakout. Oh, see, you made me laugh. Now my voice got caught up. Hold on. There we go. Ooh, gosh, horrible. All right. So if you're a flag pattern trader, you've just found your reason for entry. You found your reason for entry. So let's follow up these predictions now with the final part before this ends up being like a 30-minute analysis. So a few things we can do, right? We're making a prediction lower. Chris's question or Rain's question earlier was, if we go lower, where can we likely to go to, right? So we have the big boy target from the weekly, right? We can take a target based off our flag pattern here as well, right? If we're looking at this being the move right here, once again, I can copy and paste this. If we're looking for an equal move from the length of the flagpole, that's going to put us down. I'm going to take this and move it down right here. Once again, what can I use with that? Fibonacci extension tools, swing high to swing low and back up. I've got a 1618 Fibonacci extension, golden mean, right near that area as well. Now, structure is tough here. That's why I didn't default to it first. Ooh, look at that, actually. Look, that lines up with the 127 of that weekly one. I didn't even notice that. I didn't have the weekly one on my chart earlier. But nice confluence there. Structure is a little bit tough. The key levels of structure that I was looking for, the first one would be the inside move right here, about 88, 13, 88, 10s is the level that Rain was looking at. The lower one, I didn't really have a lower one on my analysis this morning, but I actually like this lower one down here with the bigger AB equals CD. So that's not a bad move. I can actually, let's do this just to see if anything else lines up. Fibonacci retracement, swing low to swing high. Yep, 618 right around that area, as well as 786 around the second area. So I like those two levels. If you're going to shoot for a home run target, this is not a bad level to go for. I like the conservative level of the 8850s, right? Getting above that 88 even handle. If you're going to go for a home run on this, which I think this is a home run opportunity because the fundamentals align with it, or at least the fundamental prediction aligns with it, you can go for 8540s. Now, Rain was talking about risk reward. I know my targets are a little bit less, and there's three ways we can trade a breakout. We can talk about that another time. But let's say even if you're positioning yourself after the breakout, which in this position, because of news, I would position yourself before the breakout. But let's say you're positioning yourself after the breakout and you want to get stops. I don't think you need stops this high, but let's just say you're going to do stops above the flag pattern. You still got a solid risk reward 1.4 to 1 to target 1. We're not gonna do target 2 because it's just insane. But you guys get the point. It is a good home run trading opportunity in my opinion. And you're setting up here a lower low, lower close, right? 3-bar reversal. You can see it here. Boom, boom, boom. Obviously, we need to wait for this to close at 9 a.m. I think this is a solid trading opportunity. This is one that I will be involving myself in for sure, which means I just jinxed it. By the way, I shouldn't have said that. I should have left that last part out. I just jinxed it. I'm going to get bullish with everything. Wink, wink. Market can't see me wink, right? I don't know. All right. So that's my trade, guys. Any questions on this before we move on to our next one? I shut down the other social media stuff that's going on. One day I'm going to get better at actually watching it. I'm not paying any attention to YouTube or this other stuff. I apologize again, but this is your opportunity to kind of peek in. The involvement needs to be saved for our live room members because, no offense, they're a little bit more special than you guys. Any questions on this? You guys like that combination of fundamentals and technicals? Like once or twice a year, I get an opportunity, that I get involved in like this. Doesn't always hit. For some reason, Canada, I've fallen in love. Jason Grayson always talks about knowing your pair's personality. I've fallen in love with Canada for home run trades, just because they tend to be direct. I find it a little bit more easy. I find it easier to predict what they're going to do fundamentally. In the technical, that's the easy part. We've been doing that for years, but I find it a little bit more easy versus some of these other wishy-washy places. Dollar yen's a good one too, or yen in general, but dollar yen's the one that I prefer. That's a good one as well. All right, let me shut down the other sites. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Hit that like button, leave any comments and questions if you have them. I'll go through later. And answer them, just do it below. I'm not going to read through the chat, but just do it below the video or the posting, whatever it is. Yeah, live room members,